Got the bun in my hair. About to get serious. It's day 3, part 3 of the pond. So, I was having the pond leak. I thought it was all good. What was happening is the water was getting underneath the liner, which was not good. So I have been draining the pond. Literally draining the pond. Trying to save all the water because this water is so full of nutrients that my lovely girls have provided for me. And I really want to lock that nutrients up into that charcoal so it can be like super powerful for the garden. And so yeah, I don't want to just dump out all this nutrients at the moment. All the ground's quite saturated, and really don't have much growing at the moment, so it'd be nice to, store those nutrients in the charcoal like a battery so they can be used later versus just putting it on the garden, which the garden's already full of nutrients and everything ready to go for spring, so it's not really that necessary. Anyways, so I'm gonna fill up this wheelbarrow here momentarily. Yes.
Wait a second.
Ooh, look at this lovely. Yeah. Hey, Frey. You know what you're good for? Fertilizer. You
And
poo on
slugs.
everything.
She's
You
a
get rid
slug
of
machine.
pests. Yeah. You're the greatest thing to have in the Pacific Northwest for the slugs. Slugs cannot withstand the Freya. Yes.
She sees herself.
What's
Do
that?
you see
What's
you?
that? You see you? What's going on? Are we filming you? What is that? What is that, huh? Is that interesting? Yeah. All right, so let me show you what is going on and what my solution is. So I was laying in bed. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do about this? Because, as you can see, the water... Come in here and get you a good view. All right, there we go. See, the water was flowing in here, and I had my liner in here, and I thought it was sealed against the edge here well enough, but unless it has an actually strong seal, you're gonna get some backflow, and that's what was happening. It was backflowing way faster than what I thought it would be. I thought maybe it'd have a little trickle here and there, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but no, it was really flowing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck this down in here. I'm gonna lower the pond about another ½ inch. I'm almost there. You see how low my trench is? You notice the trench is pretty much the size of this. And then what we're gonna do is mix up a little bit of concrete, and we're gonna go ahead and make a seal that goes around the whole top. We're gonna concrete this top, and we're gonna form the sides to fit that canal. And then the water coming through will go across the concrete. It'll have a full barrier around it, so that way it can't leak back under the liner. And I'll in fact put some of the concrete in the liner itself, and we'll see how that works. And I'm sure that will work more than well enough to seal this off. So luckily, I have a bunch of Portland cement laying around. Hey, Frey, are you checking it out too? Yeah, she's checking it out. Make sure I'm going to do a good job, huh? So I got some Portland cement, right? So I really don't like using concrete, like pure concrete, because it's bad for the body. It's like a vacuum. It just draws and sucks out of everything. So in order to combat that, I like to make earthcrete. And you're probably thinking, well, what's earthcrete? Well, you take Portland cement, which is the base ingredients besides sand and gravel for making concrete. And instead of putting cooked sand and rock in it, we put earth in it. So this right here, this lovely stone, this footer for the coop here, is just that. This is earthcrete. And whenever people look at it, they're like, wow, look at that rock. Because essentially it is a rock. It is concrete. This is pure concrete, and it's dark because it's full of living organic and nutrients. And when you touch it, it does not feel like concrete. It feels like a rock, like real rock. That's because it is. It's a chemically induced rock. So instead of mixing these dry, dead ingredients, we mix organic live soil into the concrete, and it literally makes us a rock. So that way it's not so destructive to the body. All right, we're already 5 minutes into this video. Let me go ahead, drain the pond the rest of the way. We're gonna mix up some earthcrete, and we're gonna go ahead and seal that off, let it dry for about a day, and see if we can get the pond working again. Yeah, it'll work. No worries, this is working. Progress is coming along. Nicole got the duck garden all weeded. I got everything dug and the liner cut to fit, so that way we can start mixing up our earthcrete. Now, earthcrete is a 20/80 solution. And for layman people out there, they're like, okay, I know that 20 plus 80, 20/80, that's 100%, right? But like, what exactly does that measure into, and how do I figure that out? Well, easy way to do it is find your most common denominator, right? So what does that make it? 4 parts of something with 1 part of something else, right? Does that make sense? Did I go a little too quick? What's half of 80? 40. What's half of 20? 10. So there we go. 4, 1. Take away the zeros. Boom! Math explosion in your head. All right, so real simple. Now, since we're going to do earthcrete, what am I going to use? I'm going to use earth. So I want to be able to filter my earth so I don't get too big of stones in there, because it might be a little harder to work. So the easy way to do this is 5-gallon bucket. Why? There's 5. We're working with 5s. We need 4 parts of one thing and 1 part of another thing, which equals 5. Simple math. But a hole in your bucket ain't gonna give you 5 gallons for very long, is it? Where did I put my bucket? Where did I put my bucket? This is a very simple method, as I film with one hand and scoop with the other. So scoop and shake. That, remove those. That's what you're looking for. Rinse, and here we go. So, you might be saying, Stanley, that does not look like 4 gallons of dirt in there to go with your 1 gallon of Portland cement. And you'd be right. And the reason for that is we gotta have room to start. So there's 2 gallons of dirt in here, right? We'll put our half gallon of Portland cement, because a half gallon of Portland cement times 4 equals 2 gallons. So we'll go ahead and put half gallon of that in here, stir it up, and then start adding our water. Just go ahead and mix it all in. I like to use the big shovel, and there's quite a bit of room left in here, so we'll add water in as we go. And remember, when it comes to concrete, you don't have all that long for it to dry. So I like to mix all my dry ingredients first, get them nice. A wheelbarrow works great for this because you got more room, or on a tarp or something like that.
But your wheelbarrow is filled with pond water.
Yeah, it is.
Because he didn't want to dump out the water.
It's sacred, full of nutrients. Well, I mean, we could waste some. I really do not like having to pay the water bill any more than I have to. It's like Mother gives all this rain from the sky, and I'm turning around giving some man my hard-earned money for what the universe just has to provide for us. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I think I want a little bit more room to be able to stir this. Look, see how the dirt's kind of like stuck in the bottom. We want to make sure we mix it right. So this little plastic jug, it'll work real well. See, we can get in here and stir it a lot easier. Here we go. And then we can bring it back there and form it in place once we get it mixed. So you mix all your dry ingredients until it's like even. It all looks the same. You know, you're not seeing darker spots or lighter spots. It all just looks kind of like this, almost like tan soil here. It looks almost like a bentonite clay by the time you have it mixed up with all the organics. slanging mud, that's for sure. So you just take this concrete, mix it, or earthcrete, excuse me, and we're putting it around this. We're gonna put it around the whole thing. You can see right here in the front, I'm getting a layer down, and I'm just kind of tapering it up around the sides. You see I got the plastic up here too. I can't put too much up too quickly along the sides just because, you know, the concrete, it's a little soft, and so you got to be able to make it pliable and have it so it just kind of sets and dry right there. But you can see right here we got this nice runway, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more concrete in this area here and basically have it so the water flows across there, meets up with the concrete, and then dumps into here to filter. And this will keep a nice seal so it won't leak on us. And that, my friends, should complete this. We'll go ahead and give you a recap in a couple days, but really the ideal thing, the lesson to learn here is make sure, however you're creating your transition from your pond to your filter, because you have to have water flowing in, make sure that you think ahead of time, how can I make that transition sealed so I don't get any of my water back flowing. So that is one thing I didn't think about in the beginning of the process that you, my friend, will know before you start. So let's continue on here, and I'll just keep filling this in. I'll let the center dry. Once it's dried, I'll make it even higher around the sides.
I was getting the ducks.
In my crotch?
Yeah.
Clouds are not a good sign. Maybe you can't see them because of the contrast. But, yeah, maybe you can. There we go. Look at that. Yeah. There we go. See? Black skies. Wet concrete. I really don't want rain on there. And then, Frey is so curious she just won't leave it the fuck alone. So, I got some plastic. We're going to go ahead and cover the area with plastic and let it dry for the next day or so. Make sure it's good and cured before we let the water start running through. And really with earthcrete or concrete, a week is best. But yeah, it probably ain't gonna make it in a week.
Not make it a week until it rains?
Oh, until we're using the pump and it's running. So one thing is this concrete isn't structural, it's just a seal. So we don't really have to worry about it, you know, holding up for structural integrity. That's why you like to let your concrete dry. Like when you're building a pond or whatever, typically you let your concrete dry for about a week before you fill your pond. But this is just a gasket seal, so it's really, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. It's not holding the weight of the water. The water's just sliding across it. So with that, we'll go ahead, put the tarp over it, and we'll call this mission complete. I'll give you a follow-up in a couple days, but there you go. That's one way you can easily fix that backflow issue. You can create a seal using concrete. Now, we could have done the whole pond in concrete, and that would actually probably be a little better for long-term use, but just in case the new owners decide, hey, I don't really want a pond, well, you just take it out. Quick, easy. You don't have to break up all this concrete or fill it in, have some weird looking thing sitting there that's hard to cover up. This is as easy to take out as it was to put in. So literally drain all the water out, pull up the liner, fill in the dirt, you're good to go. And there's not, all the concrete that there will be is just for the seal. So super easy if the new owners don't want it, but why wouldn't you? It's fucking beautiful. Look at that. You got an aviary with a pond right there, and it works in a full ecosystem where that feeds the garden. Rain falls on roof, roof falls in pond, pond feeds the garden. Closed loop system that is like absolutely perfect. And in fact, with the solar running, you could even put like a switch on there where you can have the municipal water fill up the pond anytime it gets low, and then you can set up irrigation in the garden where it would automatically water from the pond. So the pond would, having so much water in there, any municipal water with the chlorine would be so diluted out that it wouldn't really have much of an effect, if anything, and it would give it time to evaporate before going on the plants. And with the ducks, it's fertilized. Boom, boom, like compost tea on the garden. Thousands of gallons of it. Thousands of gallons of compost tea. So, build yourself a pond, get yourself some ducks, and have it fertilize your garden. So you can like be harvesting shit in February like we are. Unless it gets too cold. But alright, see you in the next video. Like and subscribe so you can keep getting all of this awesome content. Because we, my friends, will be on the road to Florida soon. Because I got more shit to get done. Peace.